I'm a Fort Worth native and a graduate of Dunbar High School. I be a wildcat. And I have to say that actually I did not know Coach Hughes when I was at Dunbar. I was at Dunbar back when dinosaurs roamed and there was no integration. I graduated from Fort Worth ISD having never interacted with or gone to school with anyone of any race other than African Americans, just like you. When I stepped out of my home on Eisenhower Drive, everybody looked like me in Stop 6, and those were my experiences. So you can imagine how it must have felt when I went away to college in Northampton, Massachusetts, at Smith College. And there were 43 African American students out of 2,300 women. It was, I could have used a Camp Anytown. It was a wonderful experience for my son, who attended Camp Anytown, as much as it has been for you. He, however, was going to a private school, and when he arrived on his day to depart, he was with his 3 friends, one Muslim, one Jewish, and himself. So he had begun to experience the value of some diversity. And so I thought, well, what are they going to do with these kids? All I can tell you, for any parent who has never sent a child to any town or camp community, they stand in their little groups according to high school when you put them on the bus. And when you come back, you wait 2 hours as they're in the kumbaya circle, singing and crying and laughing because they don't want to leave each other, and they stay in touch afterwards. It is a highly valuable experience. So I'm a lawyer by profession, a Baptist by faith, my pastor sitting here, and an advocate for justice for people in all walks of life. My initial service was with MCA when it was NCCJ, National Conference for Christians and Jews, and so I've been affiliated with this organization over a number of decades. And while we've had different names, the mission of this organization has remained the same over all that time: to promote inclusion, diversity, and understanding while working toward eliminating bias, bigotry, and oppression in our community. One of the things that Q said that really resonates with me is this: we all want to pretend that we have no biases. If you're honest, we all do. And you have to acknowledge them before you can work on them. But the second thing is that you have to get out of your comfort zone. So we should all quit trying to pretend that we are colorblind. We are not, but we can all be color brave. We can cross the room. We can cross the room and introduce ourselves to people who are not a part of the community in which we live or grow up. And it is absolutely amazing how much we have and share as opposed to those things that separate us. Now, MCA is so very, very important, not only for the reasons that Q has pointed out to you, but we all know that we're living in a time that is filled with conflict, division, and open manifestations of hate, both within our country and around the world. And it is an unusual day when there's no news report of an act of hate, whether it's in Toronto, Canada, Paris, France, Charlottesville, Virginia, Dallas, Texas, or right here in Fort Worth, Texas. The MCA and its work with people, both young and mature, is the most important work being done to secure a safe society for all. The work of fighting hate, teaching affirmation and respect, and seeking justice for every individual in every walk of life, whether they're disabled or whether they're LGBTQ or whether they're of a different race or a different faith. That's the work that we all should be about if we want to provide a safe world for our young people coming behind us. Marian Wright Edelman says that service to others is the rent you pay for living on this planet. Both of tonight's honorees have lived exemplary, faith-filled lives of service to others. And both of these both of them have crossed the border to come here to Fort Worth and be with us. The first of our honorees tonight who's going to speak to you is Coach Robert Hughes. He was born in Sapulpa, Oklahoma, to a farming family of 6 siblings, and it was a lifestyle of hard work and perseverance and commitment to getting something that was a goal for himself that shaped his life. And his service in the military also shaped his life. But it was not in that context that I came to know him. In preparation for tonight's program, I read the criteria and the process for being selected as an inductee into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame, just 20 miles from where I went to college. I won't explain the process to you, but I will say that it is at least as difficult as the process of being selected to receive an Academy Award. Robert Hughes' coaching career was extraordinary and merited his induction into that august body. But I met and became familiar with Coach Robert Hughes in a context outside of basketball. As a part of a settlement of a racial discrimination lawsuit against the local bank, funds were set aside to provide full 4-year scholarships for African American graduates of Fort Worth high schools to attend college pursuing banking-related fields. The Harriet Tubman Endowed Scholarship still is in place today at TCU, Texas Wesleyan, and Baylor University. Coach Hughes was one of the 3 African American trustees selected for the Endowed Scholarship Committee. His wisdom and guidance are invaluable in the selection of the scholarship recipients. His ability to assess the promise in young people is undoubtedly part of his success in coaching. He can spot a young person who is willing to put in the hard work to succeed at a goal, whether on the court or in the classroom. I've asked him to come forward to share his story of a life well lived on and off the court.